All right, so doing a review of just a tour of Hive, I guess, basic setup stuff and things like that. So this is your main page on Hive. The lookout, you can change how you want to look and view your profile, your rigs, whatever, in different formats. Obviously, I have one of mine kind of running hot. I like this visual. This looks nice, neat, formatted for me. Let's go into one of the workers, right? So obviously I have my workers set up. They're running, they're doing their thing, everything like that. I like using NanoMiner just because it's simple, easy to set up for dual mining. Doesn't really affect the DAG at all, and it does not limit or stop mining like you would if you did dual mining in Team Red Miner, things like that. But you use whatever miner you want to. With setting up a flight sheet, typically what I do when I'm actually in the worker itself is I will go here, flight sheet. It'll have me set up an actual flight sheet. Like, let's say we didn't have one. It'll have like a create new button here. How about we do this? We'll just, at this point, unset this flight sheet, right? Yeah, I got all these different flight sheets that I've already created. But so we have here to manage your flight sheets or whatever, go to a flight sheet or wallet page. So flight sheet, right? And then you just start clicking. Okay, I need an Ethereum miner. I have all of my wallet, whatever wallet I have on here. The pool that I want to go to. If you want to do on Hivon, where you get free after you've hit the free tier with Hive. Ethermine, this is the one that I usually mine to. Figure out where you are in the United States, if you're in the States or otherwise in other places, and you just want to go ahead and click your stratum, right? And so that'll be your stratum there, and then you just grab your miner, right? If you're in NVIDIA, a good one would be T-Rex. If you're on AMD, would be Team Red Miner, I mean. If you have a hodgepodge, I mean, any of them really that pick depending on what works best for you, right? So just kind of take a look, play with the miners. If you're coming over from if you're coming over from Windows to Hive, they all the same miners are here. So just grab one. T-Rex again for NVIDIA is really good. Team Red Miner for AMD. And then once you add that, you just create the flight sheet. So in this case, we'll create it. Team Red Miner, right? Create flight sheet. And now it's created down here. And then all you need to do to assign it, you're in the flight sheets already. We need to go back to our worker, right? Now all you need to do is you click on the flight sheets because it's already made. You don't have to do anything crazy. And you just hit the rocket ship. And then off to town that miner goes. So just give it some time to update. What I like to do is, so we have this little timer button here. If we click it, this refreshes your screen how many ever time you want. I always do 30 seconds because I'm impatient. We have all these other settings up here as well. And so, yeah, see, it's already booting up. We have the power actions right here. You can reboot your rig, shut it down, and then reboot in 30 seconds. Very simple. The server URL, I really never use that. Open a VPN configuration if you're running on a VPN. If you ever want to upgrade, or things like that. Like in this case, there are quite a few upgrades that are noted. I haven't updated this rig in a while. And if I wanted to, what I always recommend, especially when we're doing upgrades, hit the force upgrade, hit this reboot after complete, and then hit upgrade. And let it power cycle, do its thing. It'll takes maybe a couple minutes, nothing crazy, and just go about your business. This you can do run commands. I typically end up using run commands for my ASIC miners, having them do things, but you can go into the run commands and do a couple things if you get really dive in. That would be more like an advanced feature for those. If you're just getting into Hive right now, just use the basics. Basics work the best. So we have select a flight sheet. We already went through that in a different way, but again, you can get there from here. Top LAN configuration if you need to open up some ports or anything, if you're having trouble connecting to the internet. You can add tags to, like here I have AMD 580, simple things. Remote access, this is very good if you want to get into the actual shell and you want to see what you would see on a miner like when you were on Windows, if you're using Windows or Linux. And what you do is you want to click Hive Shell Start. So you click that. And so you just wait for it. Eventually it'll populate. There'll be a little link there that you can click, and we'll just keep going on. Miner actions, if you want to stop the miner config, stop, restart, things like that. That's good for just setting up things. Now here we have the Hive shell, right? It populated, give it a second. It's jumping right into Hive, and it's loading everything up. It's showing my miners, everything, all that fun stuff. Here, what we do is we just go miner, and then boom, we see everything's working, doing its thing. So that's great. If you want to just get into like the nuts and bolts, especially on NVIDIA, if you have some things that you need to do, updating like the CUDAs or anything like the driver updates, things like that, you have to get in here anyways. But just no shell in the box. You can see basically exactly what your miner is doing. And there are some commands in there that we can go over if need be another day. So the next thing, we have Watchdog. This is a very good advanced feature for like, if you want to just hash rate dips for some reason, you want to reboot it, you can set that settings up here. Auto fan settings, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you want to turn auto fan on, it increase, low crease. I like to lock my fans in for GPU mining, so I don't really worry about that. Worker options, again, more just monitoring your system if you need to. And then you can remove this miner. So there are a lot of different things. Here's a refresh button, nothing crazy. That's just my username. You can get into your account settings and things like that. So next, we have all of these buttons here, right? Or all these little clicking on things. And so you can do your default overclocking. I don't really like to use this screen for that, so we'll skip that for just the time being. Tuning, really haven't done too much, but you can tune your miners here. You can also do that when you're preparing your flight sheet. It's just added. Stats kind of shows you, what's going on with your rig. Has it been up, down, left, right, sideways? Gives you some good data when you're looking at your stats. Activity, it just tells you what you've done with the miner, so don't worry about the activity screen that much. Here in settings is a lot of different features. So like here you can change your name. You have your farm hash here, so that's, you can basically just, this identifies your farm in its entirety. Here are the tags again. Always click update miner if you're going to change any of this stuff, so it can update. You put your passwords in for the rig if you want to put a password in there. Resend all config files. So like, say something's just not jiving or whatever, click the push button. This is where you can update like GPUs. So if you take one off at any time and you just got that little red box after you've taken it off because the system's constantly reading you have 4 GPUs going, you can actually change this number. Click 3, 2, 1, update, and then it'll update. And then you have like all these other different little settings. Just go through them one by one and just check them out, what you like, how you like it, things like that. Like for me, I updated like the PSUs that I'm using, not the actual wattage because it reads the watts from the actual things, the GPUs, things like that. And you can turn a VPN on here. They also have some advanced settings Again, not really. If you want to transfer your miner, you can put the farm ID in here and transfer it over to someone else. You can deactivate the worker or remove it. Just little things here and there. Nothing crazy. So now we want to just go into like the nuts and bolts of things, right? So you want to overclock your rig, right? So what I do is I click this little guy right here. So what I really enjoy about Hive is just basically the settings of everything. So this is some of my settings for this card, particularly this 580. You have a few different other, you can add configs and things like that. What I like though really is going into popular presets. So right now we're mining Ethereum. If I click the coin Ethereum, it already has my card loaded that I'm trying to overclock, right? And then I can just look at these and figure out, oh, look at this tune and look at this tune. Look at these overclock settings and how they're setting their stuff up. And what I like to do is I'll grab one of these to base my tuning off of. So I'll assign one of these figures, and then I'll start playing with, okay, what works better after that, so I can start fine tuning. Obviously, you're not seeing a lot of people at the overclock settings that I have, because I, again, have tuned this card, so I know what it can do and what it can't do. The cardinality, so basically this tells you like how many cards are on this type of tune. Like Hive collects that data because it's general generic data, and they're trying to share it with everybody else so we can get more efficient, more secure with the network, things like that, and help each other out. So that's good. Like the higher the cardinality, the better. But again, each card, you got the Silicon Lottery. Each card does their own thing. So you just gotta fine tune from there. And I would just check these off, see what ones work for you, and then start playing. And when you play, again, that's going to be on this screen. And you start adjusting the memory clock, the core clock, if that's applicable. The core voltage, the fan setting. Like I like to lock mine in at certain fan speeds. So things like that. And then all you do is once you've figured out what tune you want or as you're playing with it, hit apply and let the system do its thing. And then from there, you're just off to the races and setting up, and you just continually do this. So let's say you were on Windows, right? And now you're moving over to Hive for the first time, and you're like, I like what I saw in the pool with a worker name and all my stuff. Like I just want everything to import. So you're definitely going to be copying your wallet address from wherever you were mining from, or the worker that you had set up on your Windows setup. And then you're also going to go into settings, and you're going to update the worker name. And so then give it a few minutes. I would say maybe 15, because Ethermine doesn't really, they don't update as frequent as like us, inputting things. And then eventually it'll line up and go. So from there, I mean, that's just like a basic tutorial or a tour of Hive in itself. A lot of settings here, a lot of things to play with. I would recommend just going in and, fooling around with a lot of different things. But if there's something specific that you want me to get into, feel free, comment down below. And then I can do a video on that. And then, from there, otherwise, do what you guys do best. Like, subscribe, follow, and share out the video.